In a kingdom blanketed by snow, a queen who longed for a child whispered a wish. For a daughter as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as ebony hair. Her wish came true, but happiness was fleeting. Snow White grew into a girl of breathtaking beauty, and with beauty came jealousy. Her stepmother, the queen, could not bear to see anyone surpass her. Magic mirrors, poisoned apples, and forbidden forests all collide in a tale where innocence confronts envy. But courage, kindness, and the friendships she forms will test fate itself. As Snow White faces danger she never imagined, one question remains. Can a heart so pure survive a world so cruel? This is the story that became legend. In a castle nestled in a kingdom surrounded by snow-capped mountains, a queen longed for a child. Every day she gazed at the white snow, the red roses in the garden, and the ebony wood of the castle walls, imagining a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as roses, and hair as black as ebony. One fateful winter, her wish came true. A baby girl was born, and she was named Snow White. The queen's joy knew no bounds, but happiness was short-lived. She fell ill and passed away, leaving Snow White in the care of her father, the king. As the years passed, Snow White blossomed into a kind and gentle girl. She loved to wander the castle gardens, playing with animals, singing, and helping the servants. Her beauty, however, grew alongside her innocence, catching the eye of everyone in the kingdom. The king, wanting Snow White to be cared for, remarried. The new queen was beautiful, elegant, but cruel. She was vain, obsessed with mirrors and her own reflection. When the queen first met Snow White, she sensed a rival in beauty. Her mirror often confirmed her supremacy, until one day it spoke a truth she could not bear to hear. Snow White is the fairest of them all. Jealousy festered in the queen's heart. She could not tolerate being outshone, and she vowed that Snow White must be removed. Snow White remained unaware of the danger growing around her, blissfully enjoying life in the castle. Yet, the seeds of envy had been sown, setting in motion a chain of events that would change her life forever. The queen's obsession with beauty consumed her every thought. She summoned her magical mirror daily and demanded, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" Every day, the mirror declared her the fairest, and every day she rejoiced, until the day it named Snow White. Enraged, the queen plotted to rid herself of Snow White, first by sending a huntsman to kill her in the forest. But the huntsman, moved by Snow White's innocence, could not harm her. He begged her to flee and promised the queen that she had died. Alone and frightened, Snow White wandered through the forest, the tall trees whispering secrets and the cold wind biting her cheeks. She stumbled upon a quaint cottage, unlike anything she had seen before. Its windows were small, its garden wild, and the smoke from its chimney promised warmth. Snow White entered and found 7 tiny chairs, 7 tiny plates, and 7 tiny beds. Exhausted, she fell asleep in one of the beds. When the owners, the 7 dwarfs, returned from mining in the mountains, they discovered her. Shocked but compassionate, they listened as Snow White explained her story. Moved by her plight, they offered her shelter and protection. For the first time since fleeing the castle, Snow White felt safe. She helped the dwarfs clean their home, cook, and care for the animals. In return, they provided her warmth, friendship, and security. Yet the queen's mirror would not be silenced, and the queen's envy festered still, plotting in the shadows. Back in the castle, the queen demanded her mirror reveal the truth once more. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror answered, "Snow White, beyond all in beauty and grace." Furious, the queen transformed herself using dark magic into an old peddler woman. She disguised herself with tattered robes, a hooded cloak, and a crooked staff. Carrying a basket of shiny apples, she ventured to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, always kind-hearted, welcomed the old woman, unaware of the danger. The queen offered her a red, glistening apple, insisting it was enchanted to make her wishes come true. Snow White hesitated, but tempted by its beauty, took a bite. Immediately she collapsed as if dead, poisoned by the queen's magic. The dwarfs returned and were horrified. They tried to revive her but could not. Believing she was gone, they built a crystal coffin, mourning the gentle girl who had brought light into their lives. They placed her in a serene glade where sunlight danced on her porcelain skin, hoping someday she might awaken. While Snow White lay in the crystal coffin, the forest seemed to mourn. Birds perched nearby, singing softly, and flowers leaned toward her as if to comfort her. In the kingdom, news of her death spread quickly. The queen gloated, believing her enemy vanquished. Meanwhile, a young prince wandering the forest came across the coffin. Struck by Snow White's beauty and the sadness surrounding her, he felt an unexplainable connection. He requested to take her to his castle to honor her memory. As they transported the coffin, a sudden jolt caused Snow White to cough and awaken. The poisoned apple's magic had been dislodged. The prince was overjoyed, and Snow White awoke to a new world. She recounted her story, and the prince promised protection. Yet the queen's envy had not ended. She would attempt again to destroy Snow White, forcing courage and cunning to become her allies. The queen, enraged to learn Snow White lived, disguised herself once more, this time as a comb seller. She sneaked into the prince's castle and offered Snow White a poisoned comb. The girl fell unconscious again, but the prince's guards intervened just in time. Realizing the queen's evil, the prince vowed to end her tyranny. The queen's magic mirror, sensing its mistress's downfall, reflected her own fate. In a dramatic confrontation, the queen's spells backfired and her jealousy consumed her. Peace returned to the kingdom, and Snow White, now wiser, understood the dangers of vanity, envy, and unchecked ambition. With the queen gone, Snow White and the prince married. The dwarfs, honored as heroes and friends, were celebrated at the castle. Snow White learned that true beauty came from kindness, courage, and loyalty. She ruled with compassion, ensuring that no one in her kingdom suffered from cruelty or envy. The tale of Snow White spread far and wide, reminding all who heard it that innocence and goodness could withstand even the darkest magic. Life in the kingdom flourished, laughter filled the halls, and Snow White's legacy endured, not as the girl defined by her beauty, but as a symbol of hope and resilience.